on dust from, I believe this is Flub's map pack. You find all the maps from this tournament in the Exodus Esports map pack. I believe the spawn is there. I may be wrong, but that's a lot of metal in the spawn anyway, so who knows. We shall find out, won't we? This is the semi-finals between Nick in lighter blue and Qzipco in the darker blue. Actually, don't forget to tell them about the ladder reset. I think they've worked that out already, Nick. Thank you very much. Now, get playing. Game starts in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yeah. I got the spawns wrong. Oh no, I got them right. Never second guess yourself. Never do that. Righty ho, so blue Qzipco. Deeper blue. Deeper. For the Aristocat references among us. Bots first on a somewhat large map, but with the clusters of metal being the ways that they are, the bot raiding will be viable here. Whether we'll see a second bots, I doubt it. Indeed, they're going into double air from Qzipco. And down on the south, we have Nick in plain blue. Bots air, air. Or is that bots air, air bots? Or is it bots air, bots air? Place your bets. Who really knows, eh? I'm not sure I do. Fabry's can do it. But with the air games being the way it is, and with the metal distribution being the way that it is, I suspect we'll see T2 bots rather than lots of T1 bots. Boombots trying to do their best there. Nick not managing to squeezle it past that docks. Instead now going to micro this one in the opposite direction. Qzipco is wise to this. There's a docks here supporting this fabricator. Never mind, it's not doing it anymore. Why is he not doing it? I have no idea. Where's Nick's air scout to go and find it though? The docks has moved back now. Nick's missed his opportunity for that boombot snipe. Qzipco already doing a lot of expansion in lots of different directions. Nick just a bit behind there. You can tell that by the economy game, although they are all working to the same song sheet there. Question is, how well is raiding going to be formulated by both of these players? Not too much aggression from docks from Nick for the moment, though he is starting to group them up, he is starting to get the numbers together, both of them comparable still. Of course, it's very, very early days in this game, and most of the units here are just going to be supporting the fabricators, making sure, especially with the way that Nick plays, as Nick is expecting things like the boombot snipes tactics to be worked against him. I think Qzipco's too rusty for that, personally. There you go, like this. Boobot, move yourself. Use yourself. Shame. Disappointing. That having been said, here comes the air now from Qzipco. Ooh, 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 ooh. Scratch that itch. Got it. Lovely surgical strike there from Qzipco. Can he get another two that are expanding in a thiswardly direction? That would be fantastic if he can, and set Nick back yonks. Will he be ballsy and go for that too, though? Does Nick have radar coverage of these air units? He doesn't. Is that perhaps wise then for him to pop up a little radar here? He didn't even finish his... yeah, maybe that was a miss micro there. I don't know what that was. And the bumblebee's gone. No more threat from that. What's the mic like, by the way, folks? Is it picking things up okay? I hope so. I think it's twizzled itself down a little bit, though, because it's very heavy. And my mic stand is not managing to cope with it. Qzipco's starting to get back into the air game now, though. There we go. Let's have a comparison of the air games there. Bits of raiding from Nick. Not a fabricator killed there, though. Those had moved on. Been and gone. Can he get this one, though? Most certainly. Look at that. Split off the bombers and then go in for the target strike. Sparks used to raid as well. Few bits of metal there gone down. And we have 2 asteroids in the game now too. Did anyone notice those? Points if you did. Do they have any metal on them? That's the question. Yes, they do. T2 bots. T2 bots and T2 air. Ah. So Nick already has that air advantage. Qzipco needs to get back into it, although he's spamming up T1 air to try and soften the blow for the meantime. I wonder whether we'll see locusts used here for the expansion raiding. I certainly would. Another force of docks wandering in. Bumblebees, there you go, that's the area patrol, working its magic there. Just as a quick split, just to try and keep your units surviving just that little bit longer. If you can take off this radar, that would be pretty decent. There we go. He can consider that a win. Just reduces that little bit of intel. And just irritates Nick more than anything. Qzipco backing away from that air engagement. Doesn't think he necessarily needs to go in for it right now. He sees that the air is still being microed, so perhaps he's going to wait for a time when the air is not being microed to try and sort of chip away at the corners. Here we go, locusts. Yeah, as predicted, I do love locusts. Ooh, 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 hello. Ooh, fighting over the base. That's an interesting one. Just needs to be fighting a little closer to that commander, but Nick lost that air engagement big time. And the T2 air is a thing from Qzipco now too. Wonder whether that Phoenix made it or broke it for him. Let's have a watch of these. Where are they going? They're grouping up. Can see them there in the picture-in-picture. I think they're just sort of... Yeah, I think they thought better of that one. Let's pop it in there. And we can watch something else on our main screen. Like this. Qzipco with bots, 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 bots. Botsity, 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 bots. And those locusts meeting a little bit of air resistance. But they're getting in now, though. You can see them dithering around just a little bit. Backing off. Qzipco with his micro, like all of these things moving at once, and that's all him controlling them. He knows exactly what he wants to be doing. It's very impressive. Yeah, Qzipco, one of the all-time greats of PA. Meanwhile, Nick, being a sneaky Nick, setting up a little proxy base here. I wonder if he's going to go for a T2 vehicles here and then just surprise with a whole horde of levelers or vanguards or something. Yeah, let's not set them to planet-wide patrol, Greendorf, with all the docks coming out of these. I wonder if all of these just decide, yeah, let's just build boom bots. I'm wondering, whoa, there we go, there's the expansion, the locusts chewing it up in the picture-in-pictures there. Down goes that expansion, no more proxy base from Nick, approaching a T1 turret there. Oh. There we go, let's resort that out for you. Still going. Just a couple of them, but that was good. That was a good run there from those locusts. Let's keep tabs on Nick's air pushing now. He's got 2 T2 air factories, a couple of lobs for the docks. But I think Qzipco's factory numbers really negate and obsolete those lobs. In all seriousness, I mean, you can't honestly think that that 2, maybe 3 lobs are going to counter like 6, 7 bot factories. No orbital prey from either player yet. Then again, it's a 1v1. I wouldn't expect it from either of these 2 top levels. And here we go. As the crow flies, with the docks and the slammers moving straight down, and they'll be straight into the T2 air factories there. Can Nick do anything about it? His ground armies are kind of all split up, but actually if we look in the army tab there, he's kind of losing out a bit on the ground. Well, the units overall. And don't forget that Nick has focused so much on his air and his docks that are all kind of split up, that actually the number of units in his base is a fraction of what Qzipco is throwing at him right now. He's got to try and use the docks as the meat shields for the slammers to keep them alive. But that's not quite going to fly. He's got to try and pick off those slammers if he wants to stand any chance of surviving this push. He might just about manage it. He does! Nick will live to fight after this engagement. But for how much longer? He's finally got his units here. I'm getting flashbacks to the, is it the World War I or World War II, where they expected Russia to advance very quickly or respond very quickly, but the West to not, and it actually turned out to be completely the opposite or something like that. But here we are with the units all formulated now from Nick, and all of a sudden Qzipco needs a few slammers. He's got all of these bot factories. He doesn't need to worry too much, and they're all streaming in different directions. Going to keep Nick on his toes. Never attack the same place twice if you can avoid it. Depends on the geography, of course. go. Nick struggling to curtail Qzipco's air dominance here. Could perhaps put up a few Galata in his base, but I think the better answer here is to try and get back into the air game. He still has his 2 T2 air, but he's struggling excuse me, for metal, which might be why he's losing out in the air game. Let's count the air factories here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I can just look down there, can't I? 6 and 2 T2 air. Let's have a look at Qzipco's air now. 7 and 1 T2 air. So it's actually pretty comparable. The difference here, and the reason Nick is struggling, is economy. It's as simple as that. And that is the beauty of raiding. And Qzipco continues to do that while expanding, expanding, and expanding. And that's what gets the snowball rolling. And Nick has gone orbital. Oh dear. I think you kind of know that he's on. You know, he's struggling. If he's gone orbital, I think he's trying to make a desperate plea for, I don't know, a 20-minute game perhaps. No, because Qzipco sees that orbital. I don't know, but the orbital's all the way over there, and the commander's all the way over here. Oh dearie dear. Even built the orbital in the wrong place. I mean, come on. SimCity 101. Build the important stuff where it needs to be. CBD. None of that. Like, satellite stuff. He's still trying to get these lobs out. And of course lobs take up a bit more metal, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, than bot factories. They're a bit less efficient. But here's the thing, they produce them all at once. But when you're stalling, they produce them a lot slower anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There we go. Go on, slammers. Moving on in. Oh, there we go. Nick's into orbit. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick is into orbit. There we go. And he's off. Is Qzipco paying attention? Let's have a look if he's going to chase him into orbit or not. Ooh. 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 Nick. Hello. This is an interesting strategy. I think Nick's going to try and get a sneaky smash. It's only 1 Halley required. If Nick can get enough fabricators out there, and then... Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We've got Faber spam. Can Nick survive long enough to rush up a Halley? I don't know. He can not do that. I got excited there, but I didn't notice the slammers on Nick's nose. Oops. That expansion, gonna check when you expanded me. Probably air fabs. Yeah. Well, that boots Nick down. But he's not out yet. He could still fight all the way back through the loser's bracket. Let's have a look and see if we can get the moment where Nick kind of lost his air a bit. I had air most of the time, so it wasn't there. It's further on. There we go. Still comparable. But at this point, the ecos were starting to struggle for Nick. And I think... not a bad engage. There you go, good engage for Nick. Let's go another 2 minutes. So he'd lost it by then. Okay. I wonder what happened. Where's his air force? It's just vanished in the space of 2 minutes. Okay, so he kind of keeps it there. I think this is where Qzipco really just sort of surprised him. Perhaps this is where it was, because he's struggling here for his economy. And so if he takes a bad engagement here, that'll reset his air. Oh, there it is. There's the... what? There's that engagement. And then when he's stalling economy, he's going to struggle to get it back up. Huh, well there you go.